First day on the Camino out of 5. Things are going well. It was a weird beginning because it was in a bus going to Lugo from Leon. And when I reached Lugo, which is beautiful and want to stay some time there, I got a message from the pilgrims pension where I'm planning to stay that, I need to be super quick and arrive within like 5 hours. So it wasn't exactly the easiest beginning of the Camino. Wasn't very leisurely. Did not start with a beautiful kind of sunrise walk towards the goal, but a bit of a rush. It's a shame I didn't stay longer in Lugo, but yeah, I felt that I needed to start as soon as possible. Lugo Cathedral is wonderful. Make sure you go there. And yeah, the bus was fine. Lots of pilgrims, although I did not see many starting off. I guess most of them just stay because the bus arrives in the afternoon, so a bit inconvenient. But yeah, it's great. Like, it's literally amazing. So beautiful weather, and yeah, thank God for all of this. Even the wind is sort of blowing most of the time my back, so very good for now. I really picked the most beautiful time to do this. I mean, it's early June, literally the 1st of June. Everything's in bloom, days super long, and I mean, it's not super hot, so it's very, very good. But as I was walking these 13 kilometers up until now, I was thinking how kind of various sections remind me of various hikes that I've already taken. So some of it is a bit like my village close to Nikšić. Some of it is like central Serbia. I mean, it is very green and hilly. So, literally, if it wasn't for the architecture, it could be anywhere. Some of it reminds me actually of the place where I first started hiking, which is at Warwick University, and kind of around the West Midlands, and then around Oxfordshire a bit later. So yeah, I think you can always ask why am I doing this super long hike here? I could literally be doing it anywhere else. It's a good question, but yeah, I mean, I always want to do this one, I guess. And you have all facilities and signposts, so yeah, it's great. Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on the Camino de Santiago between Ponte Ferreira and Arzua, where I'm hoping to reach today. Yeah, it was an okay stay at the albergo. Can't say the crowd was the most thrilling, or maybe I was too tired. It's also very aseptic albergo. Kind of, you don't see them really putting much love into all of it. A lot of rules, not that much fun. Yeah, I was basically rushed to get in, which kind of changed my plans, but anyway, whatever. Yeah, the food was really nice though. The albergo next door, which is like a local farmer's place where they hang out, like a bar, and the owner there was pleasant. So yeah, so I decided to take it a bit more creatively today and be less bound by the Camino, and then find something that I really, really want. Find a nice albergo, walk in, say, do you have a place for me? As opposed to relying on booking and overbooking and all that stuff. Because, the point of Camino is that you realize that, things find their way. It was kind of interesting. Last night, so I met this group of Camino veterans. Been doing it for, some of them even for several months. And I told them, I'm just doing the last 100. That's not really the real thing. You're only walking on the pavement. It's not that interesting. You should come back, do it again. it's kind of nice, but I don't know, it's just people, you know? Nobody ever just wants to take you as you are. There's always like some sort of self-insert, self-explanation. When you tell them, well, you know, not everybody has that much time to commit. It's like, no, but you really should. It's kind of true, but still, like, I don't know. I was hoping for, to be honest, a bit more of a jovial bunch. Like, when I came into the albergo last night, I didn't even say hi. It's kind of weird. You'd think that, you know, people doing this are a bit more... But yeah, that's just me being judgy, you know? That we should not be. You should take things creatively, play it by ear, enjoy the Camino. And yeah, maybe what it teaches you is that you don't really expect anything out of a self-selected group of people like Camino walkers. Maybe Camino's played out dog. Maybe that's the point. Become too touristified, too popular, no longer the true spiritual people. But I'm sure, like, even in whatever, the 11th century, somebody was walking, was like, damn, I really thought these people would be much nicer. It's probably how it is always in life. I always want nice people. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. It's a beautiful sight ahead. Need to take a photo. One thing you realize when you're doing things like these is that the most important thing is to actually believe things are going to be good. Not only in the sense that, you know, you won't get killed or terribly injured or fuck your legs up or whatever, or robbed, but that things are worth it, and that, like, whatever plan you have, things are just gonna like work out. And I think, like, a lot of people overthink. I do a lot, and then every sort of plan you make, every thing you're looking forward to becomes just a chore that you're unsure whether it's gonna work out. Is it worth it? What's going on? Then you're more like preoccupied with fault finding than you're preoccupied with actually enjoying it, or, you know, taking stuff out. And then kind of, I think in general in life, like even the bad stuff we go through, I mean, probably better to think of it as an opportunity to understand why things are good and great, and, you know, just steps towards something that where actually you're gonna enjoy yourself, gonna have fun. So yeah, I think I've cracked the Camino now. I can just go to, you know, my home. It's fine, just enjoy it. Or yeah, a 5-star hotel would not be a bad thing now. Would like that as well. So as I was walking, I realized that, well, I had a strange idea occurred to me. That basically the problem with the current society is that, in a sense, we have it too good, or rather that we're not ambitious, acquisitive, and, let's say, yeah, kind of faithful enough, right? Like before, just to cross this path was like such a huge achievement. I mean, you know, you had to be super fit, you had to be relatively wealthy, you know, sustaining yourself was super hard, let alone all of this stuff. And then now it's like super easy, nobody's captive. This way you need people like Andrew Tate and like Donald Trump and whatever to like tell us about greater ambition. That's, you know, what people want. So what we should do is actually take a higher criteria for ourselves. If you're not happy for being just like a random office drone, and, you know, that's why people like run marathons and stuff. They just want to achieve more, do more. So yeah, be more ambitious, push yourself harder, but like believe obviously in something, but like, but only for the things you really have to really go for it. One of the things that you realize on the last stretch, when you have many more pilgrims, especially day pilgrims, people on bikes, people on e-bikes, is that inevitably, rather than thinking about what you want about from the Camino and, you know, enjoying nature and stuff, it's like you enter a certain state of competition, or rather constant judging. Oh, you know, look at this dude, fancy clothes, but just a day backpack must be easy for him. Oh, you know, look at this woman, she's like 70, so impressive, that's kind of crazy. Obviously then you think, oh, you know, look at this dude, 35 years old, doing 100 kilometers, super impressive, everything on his own, you know, he really deserves Compostela. Then you can realize that we always do that in life, right? We always try to see whether people are worthy of this or that. Basically, you just want to convert their prejudice into objective criteria for whether somebody deserves Compostela or any privilege in life, happiness, long life and stuff. And, you know, it kind of really doesn't work that way. I mean, some people say, you know, life isn't fair. But then maybe the dude with a day backpack and, you know, fancy clothes just suffered like a super stressful thing in life. Or maybe not, maybe he just enjoys it and just does it for himself. We never know the reasons. And like, you know, as beautiful the nature is, and kind of like being, oh, you know, this is my thing, you know, I can decouple from everybody. Unfortunately, at least some of us, like myself, it's really like, you know, understanding other people, understanding the world that is crucial for any sort of happiness and enlightenment, you know? You really need to get it that not everything needs to be hard, not everything needs to be the same way, that there is no certain level of things that you have to go through in terms of traumas or good things in order to be happy, but that it's actually constant work and obviously grace, you know, like, and you should be accepting of grace as much as you should be accepting of all the challenges that come to us. And probably, you know, that's the only thing, right? Some of us get to do Camino during like 4 beautiful days at the prime of our youth, and, you know, it's very easy, very nice, and maybe that's it. Some people need to do 800 kilometers in the rain, almost die, and it's not the same, obviously, but in a way it's the same Compostela. And if that's how life is, we should just accept it and, you know, move on. Ultimately, you know, the real path of happiness and adventure has never really been tried. Now that I finally got rid of all of day trippers and e-bikers and all of that gang, yeah, another thing, it's really cool seeing like a lot of people bringing their children. In my albergue last night, there was a really cool American-Danish family who brought, I think, 4 of their children to do like the last 100 kilometers with their parents and their grandparents. Grandparents apparently did the whole Camino Francés. And I mean, children were from like ages of like whatever, like 9, 7 maybe, the youngest, and then the eldest one was a really cool dude. I think it was about like 15. And yeah, I mean, if I did this as a kid, it'd be amazing. Okay, maybe obviously, okay, Camino, very difficult logistically to organize, but I think you should definitely take your kids on a walking holiday like this when they're like teenagers. I think it really like kind of blows their mind. It's really fantastic. I also saw this like one super cute Korean kid who's maybe 5 and like walking with his parents. I guess probably they haven't done the whole thing and whatever they've done, but like it's amazing. It's just like, you know, taking your kid to like sleep and like these little albergues and, you know, learning how beautiful everything is and, you know, interacting with people. Fantastic. So if you're a parent, do it. I definitely promise that I'll bring my kids when they're like 13, 15 to do this, or something similar. So yeah, cool dad goals now. Good place to set up good dad goals, this Camino. Okay, so for me, Compostela started in the spring of 2021. I was supposed to do it in the spring of 2020, but then COVID happened. And in 2021, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and that was in February. And so in March, around the time that the Serbian Great Land started, I decided to walk 780 kilometers around Belgrade while taking care of her, and well, I guess kind of as a break from all of the kind of depressing stuff around it, because yeah, it was very, very serious. Although she kind of kept up great spirits, and I had my dad to help me, and our friends were also helpful in finding doctors and stuff. But yeah, so kind of I started in mid-March, and the idea was to finish it by Easter, and kind of going from church to church in Belgrade, about like 20 kilometers a day, you know, praying for her health, and hopefully yeah, for that to help. One of the best walks that I did was from my home in central Belgrade to Rakovica Monastery, where I got this oil of Saint Nectarius from Egina, who is, you know, patron saint of cancer patients in Orthodoxy. And yeah, and then back, which took me like, I think it was about like 25-30k. It was lovely. And, you know, kind of praying all the time, hoping that she'll get better. But unfortunately, kind of midway on the 13th of April, my mom got very, very ill. And then she passed away on the 15th of April, 2021, when I was about, what, like 150, 200 kilometers short of reaching the goal. But yeah, I persisted and I finished on the 25th of April. The last leg I ran like 30 kilometers. And I mean, it was kind of sad because it was also COVID time, so I did not know whether I'll ever be able to do Compostela, to be honest. Back then it kind of, nothing seemed to matter anymore and did not make sense. So I don't know, in a weird way, like I find that this is a way of closing it. I mean, I would have loved to put in more thought into it, make it even more symbolic, but just kind of want to cap it off with like actually getting the Compostela. Maybe do it again. But ultimately, yeah, I think we all kind of start this trip much before we actually come here. And it is about the intention, but I still think it is important to do at least a bit of it. Just, you know, so you don't have any illusions. I remember actually being quite sad when I realized that that was way before 2020, when I realized that actually most of the path looks a lot like Serbia, at least on the Frances, and that, you know, it's not just like this crazy rugged terrain and kind of empty you know, old medieval villages, but it's actually much more normal looking, but still fantastic, right? So it is about the intention, and it is about persistence, right? You should do it. If you want to do it, you should do it. But yeah, however you want. Anyway, that's it. And another thing to remember, dear pilgrims, is that it doesn't really have to be hard. Like, to be honest, most of the Camino can be done by anybody who's, you know, basically fit. If you can walk, you can do it. I mean, depends obviously on the time, the pace, the weather and stuff, but it's not that hard. You don't really have to try that hard. in general in life. And yeah, you should enjoy it. Like, even if you know you're a bit annoyed when you see that it's easily done, even if you thought that it should really be super strenuous, hard, punishing experience, it doesn't have to be. Like, in general in life, to be honest, like if it's punishingly hard and you hate it and you know find no reason why it is so, it's not good. Life should be easy, life should be fun, and you know that's the grace of God. So, you know, enjoy. There are lovely, you know, albergues such as this one on Perduoso. You know, have lovely pools, you can drink, you can do whatever, or you know, you can read, pray, meditate. But yeah, it doesn't have to be that hard, people. You know, and as they say with like a lot of ideologies, a really deep, spiritual, fun life has never been tried, bro. So it's on you to try it. So yeah, so it's over. Got my little certificate of pilgrimage, and yeah, it was amazing. It's kind of emotional. I did not expect it to be as much, but it's lovely seeing all these people. The city's beautiful, definitely the world's most walkable city because everything is walking distance. So yeah, it's fascinating. You know, it's kind of nice seeing people happy that they've achieved something beautiful, and yeah, I mean, it's really, really stunning. So hopefully I now managed to find my way into the cathedral. See the square, it's really stunning. It's like really cool, fancy hotel right back there. Probably like Bishop's Palace or something. So yeah, amazing. Yeah, the cathedral experience was kind of funny because there's a queue for the people, queue of the tourists to enter, because it was mass, and then once it was over, it was a bit like, you know, opening of a Black Friday, so everybody rushing to hug St. James and do everything. I must say the experience was kind of weird because there's so many tourists, so you're, you know, praying after like a long pilgrimage, and then there's somebody like taking photos and basically treating it like, you know, anything else. And I must say, yeah, it does kind of test your kindness towards people and understanding, but you know, hey, that's life. We are all deeply fallen people, and you know, we need to roll with our own fallenness, and that includes judging people. But yeah, but this was impressive. So thank you, St. James, thank you, God, for this. And yeah, and you guys should all do it, really, obviously, if you feel like it, but it's fascinating. So yesterday I went to A Coruña and was walking around there thinking, oh my god, I really made a huge mistake. I should have stayed in Santiago. It's so much nicer there, because the weather was a bit crap, and the parts of town I was going through were looking kind of ugly. And then I thought for a moment, oh my god, you're such an idiot. Like, why are you doing this? Always like going to these random shit places. But then I realized on the Camino, you know, I was made to go through some places that weren't that nice, but I never had that sort of thought. And then I realized that basically if I learned anything, that is that I have to believe that there's a good destination that you're going towards. Obviously it is about the journey, not the destination, but then if you think the destination is crap, shitty, useless, pointless in life, then all paths are kind of wrong. And secondly, you can't really hate yourself, just you have to like roll with it. So it's probably it. It's probably my last piece of Camino wisdom, advice, whatever. And yeah, do it, guys.